Standardized tests, while in no way the perfect solution, are the only way to measure the achievement of students or schools on an equal, fair playing level. How else are we supposed to measure the success of different schools or groups against each other if they are not doing the same quantifiable thing? You can't determine from other factors because those are not equal.
Standardized testing is a robotic form of assessment that doesn't take into consideration the external factors of students and creates unneeded stress. How else are we supposed to consider the many different aspects of every individual if we categorize them into numbers rather than people?
It's true that we need more than numbers to assess a student, but it is one aspect that needs to be done. Most parents approve standardized tests. A July 2013 Public Affairs Research poll found that 75% of parents say standardized tests are a solid measure of their child's abilities, and 69% say the tests are a good measure of the school's quality. 93% of parents say standardized tests should be used to identify areas where students need extra help, and 61% say their children take an appropriate number of standardized tests.
While standardized tests are helpful in providing a measurement for a student's capability, they are an unreliable measurement. A 2001 study published by the Brookings Institution found that 50 to 80% of year-over-year test scores improvements were temporary and caused by fluctuations that had nothing to do with long-term changes in learning. For the most part, standardized tests hinder on any sort of out-of-box thinking. If colleges are going to consider the potential growth a student has over 4 years, standardized tests will not help this aspect.
Well, colleges and schools care about accountability. Standardized testing holds teachers and schools accountable because they are responsible for teaching students what they are required to know for these standardized tests. This is primarily because these scores become public record, and teachers in schools who don't perform up to par can come under intense scrutiny.
That's true, but this teaching to the test is replacing good teaching practices with a drill and kill route to learning. Standardized testing is causing teachers to only teach to the test, and this practice is hindering a student's overall learning potential. With the stakes getting higher and higher for teachers, this practice is only going to increase. The sad reality is that it fosters an atmosphere that is boring and lacks creativity. Teachers have pressure to get their students ready for these exams, and they neglect to teach students skills that go beyond the test and prepare them for the future.
It is true that teachers do some preparation for testing, but the majority of class time is spent on topics from that class. Anyways, how are you supposed to measure whether a student or a teacher or school is doing well if there's not some kind of equal assessment for all students to take? It is like in math. You can't add 1/2 and 1/3. You have to add 3/6 and 2/6. Imagine that a girl goes to a school that does not have very many opportunities or challenges, and she gets a perfect score on everything. Then there's another girl who goes to a really challenging school but doesn't score as highly. You must test to determine how two students from different schools, ethnicities, or other groups land against each other instead of just against others in the similar group to them.
While this may have been true when the SAT started in the 1930s, it has changed drastically over the years. The standardized test was initially a scholarship test for Ivy League schools based off of an Army IQ test that was meant to help those who came from more humble backgrounds to be noticed by prestigious schools. But now standardized testing may be hurting rather than helping students. Today, the correlation between how well you do on a test and family income is unfair and unjust. Students that come from a wealthy background have money for tutoring and preparation, making for an unequal playing field.